welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another broadcast here. Welcome back to the patches TLMC21 batch number 2. Something a little bit different here. Shout out to Patches. Patches, of course, has been running and organizing tournaments a little bit infrequently, but looking to push for things like his new patch or things like the Team Liquid Map Contest maps. This is another tournament looking to feature the TLMC21 maps here and now. Let's go, baby, let's go. I do apologize for going a little bit live. This is a replay cast, of course. True, this is a replay cast, and we were scheduled to go live an hour ago, an hour and a half ago actually, but I just was unavailable, unfortunately. It's been a rough day, just considering how late Wardy TV Monday did end, so I did actually go to bed a lot later, and it's less than ideal, baby, less than ideal. But regardless, we're here, we are back, and up first we have our first series. It's going to be SpeCial versus SKillous. Let's go. We have a PVT ready for us here, and again, we're going to be featuring the new maps. That's what I'm most curious by, that's what I'm most interested by, and game 1 is going to be on Taito Citadel. Let's go. One of the larger maps in the map pool. Again, larger map, more macro oriented, and we'll see if we do get a longer game state here. The problem is that currently in TVP, the meta is definitely designed to end the game early. We'll get there. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Taito Citadel, we have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss, we have the Protoss player representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Mexican Terran, the red Terran. It is a SpeCial. We go. Against SpeCial, he has been competing and playing StarCraft again in recent times, in recent months, so it's great to see him competing here and taking part in the patch bash. Whew. But we'll see how he compares to SKillous. SKillous is definitely a little more in form. He did also take a bit of a break, that is true. And more. Okay. Just obtain the YouTube title. But SKillous, he did take some time off to take a break post EWC, but now he has been back, he has returned, and definitely is looking in form. It was not too long ago, like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, where SKillous did actually force Clem all the way to the ace match, had a very close, very clutch series versus Clem. So hey, if you can bring Clem to the ace match, it's going to be difficult here to bring SKillous down in the TVP matchup. Of course, it's a matchup that has been adjusting quite a lot in the most recent patch, especially with the hotfix as well, you know, with Storm, with Ghost, with Colossus becoming more viable as well. So TVP is definitely in flux at the moment, which is why I'm curious to see how SpeCial will approach this. Now, in my mind, at least in every other game, or in the previous patch, I would assume that SpeCial would all in, right? I would assume that SpeCial, he would all in at time and time again. In this patch, though, we'll see if he commits to that. We'll see if he goes into a longer, later game instead. We'll see how he adjusts his approach. For now, double gas opener, faster factory, delayed CC out of SpeCial. Does go for delayed CC. And when it comes to the map itself, welcome to Taito Citadel. I did mention earlier that this is one of the larger maps in the map pool, much more macro oriented. I will say that this is a little bit more accessible compared to a map like Tokamak, where we do have multiple entrances into one of the expansions on the right hand side, and we have a more accessible route here in between the bases as well. This will allow for the aggressing player to have more opportunities, more angles of attack to break a turtling player. That may come into play here for SpeCial if SKillous were to slow the game down. We'll see. In general, though, TVP is typically a little more intense, a little more in your face, typically from the side of the Terran. So now SpeCial pokes in, gonna be zoned away. I see Senjo in the chat. Live, yeah, he was actually fighting space crocodiles to save Australia from an alien invasion, and they were more tenacious than expected. It took longer, especially the fight against some other ship. Ah. True. I forgot my detection. Oh no. Oh. As the Reaper does hit the natural, the shield battery is ready, and so far doesn't get any probe damage. Nice defense here by SKillous. He defends, he deflects. So far SKillous is keeping up. Behind the SpeCial, getting to his own 1-1-1. Take the natural. They get 2 probe kills so far. Get some okay damage here at a SpeCial. We have our tech of choice going to be Blink, and SpeCial going to be getting into his own Banshee follow-up with Hyperflight Rotors. Now, curious, SpeCial, he was one of those players that was fond of mech, true. I mean, especially against Protoss, like everyone was playing mech against Protoss in the last patch, and this time, okay, that's not going to be the case. Second ranks is on the way. It is going to be Bio, but we are going to be investing quite heavily into these Banshees. Bearing in mind that players that were already going into Hyperflight Rotors before the patch, with the new patch, this has been buffed. Hyperflight Rotors does finish a lot faster, and it is more accessible. Now, the reason why this has been rising in popularity is because Cloak Banshees have been less effective. The reasoning for this is because it has been more and more common for Protoss players to get a faster robo. You can see here, this is a robo before the third expansion. So faster robo means faster detection, means that Cloak Banshees, they have a hard time getting value. A really hard time getting value, at least in the current meta, because it was so prominent, because it was so popular. Protoss players have adapted into getting faster robos. So now, why invest into Cloak when you can instead invest into Speed Banshees? This does mean that sure, there's no Cloak, and you won't be able to hide your units or potentially take advantage of a player having no detection, but you expect detection here out of SKillous. So instead, there's more micro potential here out of SpeCial. That has been the benefit of going into Hyperflight Rotors. Second Banshee's coming in. Double Reaper between the bases. Again, you can see the observers spreading out. And here come the two Banshees. Two Banshees, they can one-shot workers. They can one-shot probes. They're headed towards the third base. And so far, SKillous here split up between his bases. We got 3 Stalkers here on the right hand side. We have a handful of Stalkers here towards the left. SKillous is spread. Banshee's moving in. And we do have a Dark Templar behind us as well. Bold move. Reaper gets shut down. Banshee's deflected. So far, 2 probe kills, and the Banshees, they get away. Again, so far so good. And now what we need as SpeCial is to scout the main. We need to scout the main base, confirm what's going on. Dark Shrine is still on the way. So far getting another 2, 4 in total. Oh, a little bit of miscontrol by SpeCial, but he gets up to 6, 7, 8 probes, 9 probes even. And 9 probes go down. We did just blink, which means the Banshees can get away. Banshees, they do boost out, and so far 11 probe kills, very nice damage. Not a single Banshee goes down, but my concern here is that SpeCial did not scout the main base, is not aware of the Dark Shrine. Now, DTs in this matchup, they're very hit and miss. As you can imagine, scan, right? As long as we can hold on to scans, as long as we're not muling, then scans are going to be available. Speaking of, we did just mule here, but the main base has plenty of energy, so speaking of, does scan the natural. And I believe should have enough for another scan. Yeah, has plenty. We'll see if the army is in position though, as SpeCial does move out. So let's move in. DT warp in alongside this. And SpeCial, he doesn't turn around. We're going for a base trade. So we're going for a base trade here. Stalkers have arrived as well. Going for the Banshees, getting one, getting both Banshees. Back at home, do we have any splash damage? The answer is no. There's going to be some defensive DTs that will help. There's a scan. Yeah, scan into the main base, but there's not much to defend. And this one DT just getting free damage on the main army. And SpeCial, does he have another scan? The answer is he does not. Okay, he has one scan in the main. DT still getting free damage. He kills the third base. Ooh, but he's losing everything in the main. There's a scan. Okay, there's that one scan. We need one more DT defensively. So there it is. DT's on the way. And the one Doctor, the Invisible Man, Pappy's going ham. And with that, SKillous, you should have this. He should have this. There goes second DT. GG gets called, and SKillous, he will take the game. He will take a lead in the series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A cheeky move here out of SKillous going for Dark Templar. As you saw, scans were very limited because SpeCial only had 2 CCs, only 2 orbitals, a 2 base play here at a SpeCial, and alas, he did run out of scans. Back at home, he did lose his army, did lose his economy, and across the map, he only had, what, 2 scans available, and okay, there were just too many Dark Templar. GG. GG, well played. The Invisible Man is pretty good. It's pretty good. But here we go. Here we go. We're now getting into game 2, and we'll see if SpeCial can bounce back and make a series out of this. We'll see if SKillous can claim it here and now. So we're loaded into 10,000 feet. I keep wanting to say 2,000 atmospheres. I just, God damn it. Let's go. Sounded like he muled the moment that the Warp Prism flew into natural. That is true. He did mule at his natural CC, but he had, what, 3 scans in the main base. He made use of them, but again, the scans were still very limited. Very, very limited. Even if he didn't mule at his natural, that means that he has 1 extra scan. I don't really think that 1 extra scan is enough to deal with the harassing DTs. I still feel like, again, the fact that it was a base trade is what made it brutal. The fact that he had no reinforcements back at home was just a really rough position there for SpeCial to be in. Like, base trading versus DTs is brutal. It's But here we go. Here we go. We're now getting into game number 2 and spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet. We have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is a SKillous. It would help. It would help. It would help. Having 1 extra scan. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have as a opponent, we have the Mexican Terran player. We have the red Terran. It is SpeCial. As SpeCial does start things off with a proxy Rax, only a single SCV, so only 1 proxy, so this is not going to be like proxy 2 Rax Reaper or 2 Rax Marauder. But welcome to 10,000 feet. This is one of the rush maps, one of the more aggressive maps in the map pool. We do have a mineral wall here coming into the natural, into your more secure 3rd base location. So you have a pretty secure 3-base setup here once you mine through those patches. At the same time, we also have these massive tumors. There are tumors all over the center of the map that open up and that make the rush distance that much shorter, and that open up the map, making it more accessible as well. Remember, they do open up just before 8 minutes, so getting into the later game state. Meanwhile, SpeCial going for the one. Oh, never mind. I was like, oh, it's only 1 SCV. He's going for the proxy 111, 1 base all in. So 1 base all in out of SpeCial. He's doubling down. He's committing. Now, SKillous, he scouts. He sees no racks. No racks. So SKillous, he knows that something is wrong. Something is amiss. And it's on SKillous to look for the proxy. Back at home. We'll see if he goes for a robo first. See if he gets the 2nd gateway. Going reactor on the racks. And there's that proxy 111. As you mentioned, just 1 base all in out of SpeCial. He's going to be proxying a tank. He can get Viking support or try to go into a Liberator. You can see the SKillous, he's scouting close by at the 3rd base location. I mean, again, this is quite far back. It's further back compared to the 3rd, compared to the 4th. So much more difficult to scout. Oh, I assumed it was going to be a tank, but no, going into proxy Cyclone. Okay. SKillous still searching. Still looking. He is opting to go for a Twilight Council, not a Robo. And we'll see if he ever does find this.
I am here in the shadows.
Going for charge. Okay, okay. Going for a charge base opener. But the army's already here. SpeCial moving in. Now there's the safety shield battery. Cyclone gets a lock on. Lock on is broken. And now SKillous knows. Now he sees, okay, now the Cyclone is a proxy factory. He knows there's a 1 base all in. Gateway explosion is thrown down. And SKillous, the longer this goes on, the better it is for SKillous. SKillous just needs a little bit more time to warp in. Here comes that Liberator and the tank. Gets an SCV. The weapon is brutal. Shield battery does keep it alive. The first Stalker, the boy's being pulled. The Stalkers, they refuse to go down. 1 Stalker finally falls. He does get 1. It's 1 Stalker. SKillous will bleed out a lot of workers here. The natural shield battery out of Engie. The tank is moving in. And the tank will siege. Yeah, with the tank sieging up, he cannot engage. Oof. Yeah, it's 2 volleys on the Stalkers. The natural is forfeit. Now remember, SKillous does not have to defend, right? The natural base is going to go down, but remember, SpeCial is 1 base all in, so it does not matter. He has to defend the main. Charge is finishing up just in time. And now it's getting on top of the army. It does take down the initial Cyclone, trying to force some friendly fire. Nice target firing out of SpeCial. does focus on the stalkers, and SpeCial, he doesn't. Yeah, SpeCial, he breaks through. Very nice target firing. And it was really unlucky here that SKillous, he scattered everywhere but the proxy location. Scattered all the way on the left-hand side. He's down to 2 gateways, and GG. GG gets called. SpeCial, pulls off the 1 base all in, and we're getting into the ace match. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Against SKillous, he had a really shaky engage pushing into the army. You could definitely argue miscontrol. He was A-moving. He was A-moving with his stalkers, so the Cyclone took a lot longer to bring down. The tank, of course, survived as well. Really nice target firing at his SpeCial to focus on the stalkers and to make sure he did not have any friendly fire. And again, SKillous, he went for a Twilight Council instead of the Robo, so no defensive immortals, as he was being a little bit risky with his play. He didn't really know what was going on, and GG. GG, well played. He was able to buy enough time for charge, that is true, but he just didn't have the army to work with, and the choke point was working against SKillous there. And now we're getting into the ace match. Game 3 is going to be on Satellite Years. We go from one of the smaller maps to now one of the larger maps once again. I would say this isn't as large as Title Citadel, but a larger map nonetheless, and let's go. Let's get in. There's a lot to get into here. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Satellite Years, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Team Liquid, being forced into the ace match. It is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself from the land of Mexico. It is SpeCial. Here we go. SpeCial is going to be opening up the ranks, is back at home this time. You need Ravens, I guess? No, sorry. See, someone sent you in the chat. So if you're referring to game 1, like the reason why everything was so chaotic and everything went so south with SpeCial is because he was all in, because he sent everything across the map. He wasn't expanding, he wasn't being more defensive back at home. So like because he moved out, like it ended up in an awkward situation for him, if you recall. Because he was so committed, because he had no army at home. That's why, despite the fact that he had defensive scans, like he had no army to deal with like the Dark Templar, right? So when it comes to last game, again, like SKillous, he was unable to scout and determine what was going on. You could definitely argue that SKillous, he was maybe a little bit too cavalier, considering that like he knew that it was 1 base play, or he knew that there was nothing at the natural, and he knew that the Rex was missing. Which is why we did mention the Twilight Council opener instead of the Robo. As there are ways to open up in a safer manner. But for now, we're settling in. Again, welcome to Satellite Years. Satellite Years does have a really secure 2-base setup, but there's a ramp coming into the natural. This is not a common feature in modern StarCraft, so we have a ramp, so really secure 2-base setup. Now the area outside of the natural is more exposed. Here at the low ground is more exposed. The 3rd base is more open, as there is a wide entrance into the 3rd on the left hand side, and the low ground here as well. But what if you can get your 3rd base up and running? What do you have? You have a 4th right next to it. So the 3rd and 4th base, they're right next to each other, so you can set up on 4 bases relatively easily here if you can secure your 3rd. The big caveat, of course, is how exposed the 3rd base is and how accessible the area is outside of the natural. The longer rush distance, though, probably deters aggressive play. We'll see. We have seen a lot of 2-base all-ins and tank play make use of this area on the low ground quite well, and be able to pull off those all-ins. And that's what we're expecting at a SpeCial. Again, SpeCial is not really much of a macro player. We expect like aggression, we expect all-ins. That's what we've seen so far in this series. And we'll see if that trend continues. SpeCial has yet to get a 3rd CC. That just hasn't happened. SpeCial is also trying to dive. We do have a force field. Despite that, one Hellion goes down, doesn't get into a mineral line. The Stalker getting quite low. Nice pickup, gets a Stalker. Yeah, so far, better trade for special. Does get the better trade. Now going for the Sentry as well. Ooh, brutal pickup. Sentry goes down. And now I can go for the mineral line. It's one more probe. And so far, again, better trades to special. He gets 2 workers, soon to be 3 probes. 3 probes go down, he gets away, he preserves the army. Go to Sentry, go to Stalker. And once again, special is going for Hyperlight Rotors. It's going into Speed Banshees. This is looking similar to game 1. I say similar just because this time he did invest quite heavily into Reactor Reaper. And it has paid off. So a nice start here for special. And we'll see how many gateways, I say how many gateways, 2 gate blink. So 2 gate blink at a SKillous, a greedy build from our Protoss. Going into a delayed robo. Oh, Reapers, they get in. SKillous, he will miss the rotation. And more probes are going to be going down. And getting another 2. SKillous, he commits across the map. But especially because of the red, because of the high ground, I don't really see him getting much done here. Oh, he blinks into the Marines. Yeah, big mistake. He blinks in, he gets punished, losing 1 Stalker. Losing 2 Stalkers. Brutal losses there for SKillous. Again, he wasn't expecting that many Marines. And so far, the early game has probably gone as best as it could for special. Like, this has been the best start that we've seen getting in towards the mid game. Special killing 3 Stalkers, a Sentry, 6 probes. Getting more damage down across the map. And SKillous is in a rough position. Now, remember, SKillous, he did go for a faster third. He's going for a later gateways. He still only has 2 gateways available to him, and he's vulnerable to a 2-base all-in. Right now, special, he's gearing up for that. We have Stim on the way. Oh, never mind. Special, he does not go for tank production. And we'll see if he throws out 2 more Raxes. 2 more Raxes would be indicative of an all-in. Otherwise, he technically could expand from here. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like, he's far enough ahead where he can just get further ahead. This time, SKillous, he reacts well. He deflects the Banshees. And SKillous is building up towards Colossus. So the Bay is on the way, getting to Colossus production. 2 more probes go down. We spoke about the looking for 2 more Raxes. There it is, 2 more Raxes, 5 Raxes in total, 5 Raxes on 2 bases. Special is going to commit. He's choosing not to expand. We'll see if he gets add-ons or not. We'll keep an eye on him. As Stim is finishing. Stim, combat shields. Now SKillous, he does want to move out. And it's on SKillous to buy time. He has to buy time here for his Colossus. Gets a Marine. Gets a Marine, he forces out a Stim. So a good start for SKillous. And here you can see the rush distance by ground coming into play. The Banshees, they spot them as Chargel, they spot the Colossus, nice snipe on the Sentry. But this is taking a long time to move out. And especially starts the add-ons. Yeah, he starts the add-ons. This is indicative here that we might start a 3rd CC. As he's still rallying, still committed. SKillous getting a 4th base. SKillous, he does spot to move out with the Observer, he knows. He is aware. And special, I feel like this is taking quite some time here. There we go. I was like, we're taking too long. The boys are being pulled, 2 base all in, no surprise out of special. But I don't know if it's going to be enough here. Not against 2 Colossus. I mean, thankfully there's only 1 Sentry. We'll see how he can engage. Does get the Immortal. Nice pickup. Yeah, the Immortal is exposed. Immortal goes down. Nice start. The Mine Connections, oh, they do graze the army. All the SUVs go down. Shield battery is not quite coming into play. Yeah, they're going to get depowered. Nice pickup. Colossus is going to be moving in. There's 2 Vikings. Down to 1. 1 Viking left. And SKillous, he should have enough here. Yeah, especially he tries to go for the dive. He cannot get on top of the Colossus. And he's going to be cleaned up. He's going to be cleaned up. This is not enough damage. He even has a disruptor. Nova goes up. And Special will lose everything. He'll lose everything. Remember, he pulled the boys. It was all in. And SKillous will shut him down. Ah, it does get one of the Colossus. Okay. Does get a Colossus. Just one. Just gets 1 Colossus. GG gets called. And SKillous, he will take the series at 2-1, advancing on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. And you could see how long it took for a special to actually get across the map here on Satellite Years. This is where the larger map does impact and does negatively impact a player going for an all-in. SpeCial had a lot of time to build up, a lot of time to respond, and sure, especially he did pull the boys, he did have that extra supply to work with, but again, like SKillous, he already had 2 Colossus, he had a massive amount of Zealots, he was up 20 army supply. It was brutal just how much army he had to work with, and the longer the game went on, the worse it was for Special. So it just took a little bit too long to really get the all-in going. Despite the really good start, like again, Special, he was doing really well with his Banshee harass, with his with his Reaper harass as well. He was doing well leading up to it, but again, he did opt to go for the all-in and it did take a little bit too long. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to SKillous. SKillous does play in the series, and he will advance on to the grand finals. To the upper bracket finals, I should say. And he's going to be going up against the winner of our next series. Let's go. Up next is going to be a best of 3 between Gerald and Cristiano. Bearing in mind this tournament is double elimination, so especially still in the tournament, he gets knocked down to the lower bracket. Here we go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the other Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. We go. PvP is upon us. Now, PvP has not changed too much in the most recent patch, I will say that. There are some changes here and there. One of the big ones, of course, is the NG Overcharge. NG Overcharge was nerfed. Now it's half as effective as it once was. That does mean that all-ins are harder. They are harder to defend. They do hit harder. They are stronger just because you have that much less to defend when it comes to NG, when it comes to the effectiveness of your shield battery. So that is going to be a slight difference here in PvP. The other change, of course, is the stasis wards. The stasis wards, and also I guess sentry NG as well. True. So scouting is going to be a little bit more difficult here in PvP, a little bit more, but it goes both ways, of course. And of course, the Oracle is slightly less effective because of the nerf to the stasis trap. As stasis traps, they do last. They do not have as much duration on them when it comes to when you place them down. That was reduced quite heavily. And that will impact Stargate openers. But outside of that, like the core of PvP should be the same. As Cristiano, he does hide his second pylon. Okay, cheeky move here. Out Cristiano does hide the pylon. With this, in this location, it looks like a fake proxy pylon out of Cristiano, and we bring this up all the time, but in a new map pool like this, fake proxy pylons and proxies are that much more effective because you are less familiar with the common proxy locations, right? Like where is a good location to proxy, where isn't. You're less familiar with the map, so it is harder to actually get a read on this. We actually saw this last series between SKillous and SpeCial. SKillous took him a long time to actually scout where SpeCial was proxying, where he was all-inning from. I mean, he never did scout, despite trying. Here, Gerald, he is checking with his probe. Does check the top side of the map. And we'll see if he keeps going. As there's that Stargate opener out of Cristiano. Stargate before expand. There's the Nexus. Gerald claiming his own. Did open up double, now into quadruple stalker. As Gerald does get the extra volley off, shield battery's done. Cristiano, he reacts just in time and he will defend. Whew. Okay, does pull back, does defend. So Fire protects his natural. Gerald's looking for another way in. He will barely miss the Oracle. And I believe he did not scout the Stargate. So Gerald, he's still in the dark. Thankfully, he does have a safety shield battery. So the shield battery should be enough to defend against the Oracle. At least initially. LFs are moving out. And we can go for the stasis traps. It does go for the stasis. Gerald, he reacts in time. He does. Oh no! Oh my god, that was so close. That was very close. Does focus on the stasis. Hi. Same time, 3 probes getting caught. Let's get 3 workers. Say thread in the shade. So far, nice. We go by Cristiano. Gets both adepts for nothing. And now we're building up into the mid game. Again, the rush distance by ground here on this map should be a little bit smaller than the previous map, than Satellite Years, if I'm not mistaken. We're getting a 3rd gateway. From here, Cristiano, he can either expand or set up another gate. We'll see if he commits, as he's not skipping any warp-ins. Gerald likewise doing the same. Gerald will be the first to expand. And Cristiano, we're setting up a proxy across the map. He's moving out. There's a 3rd expansion. Cristiano, he does push. Yep, there's a pylon. We're waiting for a 4th gateway. 4th gateway's on the way. 2 base all in. Yeah, 2 base all in out of Cristiano. He's committing quite hard. It looks like he will expand, but this is a much later expansion. He's committed, and the goal here is to break the 3rd of Gerald. Nice, a shield battery. Shield battery is denied. Stasis trap on the way. So far, Cristiano is zoning well. But we do have the defensive advantage for Gerald. Does have that defensive advantage. Stalker counts are still neck and neck. And with the completion of the shield battery, Gerald should defend. He should defend, he should hold. So we got 2, soon to be 3 shield batteries. Cristiano is trading relatively well. Warping in 4 stalkers at a time. Let's warp in. Another shield battery finishes. And there's no bringing this. Yeah, there's no shot. He's trying to bait him into the stasis trap. That's the one chance that Cristiano has. Ooh, nice, very nice bait out of Gerald. He noticed. Yeah, I didn't notice. Cristiano gets like the hell out of here. He's gonna try to trade, but his army is so low on HP. And in the end, this just wasn't worth it. Cristiano, he has a later expansion. He's now rallying over. Oracle into the natural. Once again, Gerald, he does pull the boys in time. Quick reactions out of Gerald. Very nice, very impressive. Does react in time. And from here, we're building up. Gerald, he does have the faster Forge, a faster +1. +1 is already on the way for Gerald. Meanwhile, Forge is still in production for Cristiano. So Gerald, he will have the upgrade advantage. Does find the adepts. At the same time, Gerald is out of position. Uh-oh. Yeah, he's out of position. There's a recall. Does recall in time. And Cristiano, he rotates over towards the third instead. He gets a... doesn't get any stalkers. There was potential. There was potential there, but the recall was in time. And Gerald defends. He still defends. Still all over this. Use up another stasis. Stalkers, they get caught by the stasis trap. Not bad. Both armies do. Okay, Cristiano, he can keep going. He can keep pushing. Massive stasis traps. As Gerald, he blinks forward. Despite that, Cristiano's army is actually quite small. Oh, wow, he's actually down 10 stalkers. I mean, this shows how committed Cristiano was. He's waiting for charge. Is switching to a zealot heavy composition. But despite the stasis traps, Cristiano, he just didn't have enough to actually do anything here. He couldn't break through. Gerald, he starts up +2. Both players getting their 4th bases. Gerald, he's enjoying a greater army. Now, tech-wise, Cristiano, he is actually building up a more refined composition. He has more zealots and he's getting into Archon production as well. Like, I'm liking this army composition in general for Cristiano, but the upgrade is going to be worse. And Gerald, he has a little more micro potential with the Mass Stalker. He can bypass the army. He can head into other bases. Let's go. In a head-on fight, I favor Cristiano, but we'll see how Gerald does approach. He gets the Oracle. Nice snipe. The Oracle goes down. Picks up a couple of zealots. It's going to be one Archon here for Gerald. It's morphing in one. Oh. Bleeds out a couple of Stalkers. That's one Stalker going down. Cristiano moving in. A lot of this will come down to the angle of attack. So picks up another 2 Stalkers. Oh. Yeah, these are some expensive losses. That's going to be 3. That's going to be up to 5 Stalkers going down. Sorry, up to 4. And now he can engage. The Archons are a little bit far back here for Cristiano. Pulls away. But in general, Cristiano, he has been out trading his opponents. Zealots peel off into the mineral line, and Gerald is out of position. That's a lot of Zealots being invested, though. Does he have enough for the main fight? Yeah, he's on the low ground, pushing up the ramp, up into a concave. But Gerald, does he have enough, though? Yeah, we're running out of Zealots. Both players are. I mean, Zealots, shield vipers are coming into play. And Gerald, he's holding. Does barely hold on. Yeah, the War Prism only just now arriving. Reinforcements have been delayed. Cristiano, he had potential getting into the mineral line, but he did not quite get in. And he pulls away. And Cristiano, he backs off. Gerald holds. Whew, okay. And now we're calming down. We're calming down. Both players are on 4 bases. +3 just now begins for Gerald. Disruptor production has begun as well. Disruptors, they are, I mean, they're kind of what you want to take into. They are the end game. And Cristiano, he's not there. Cristiano, he was hoping to end the game earlier, before disruptors hit the field. And Gerald, he's making 2 disruptors at a time. So Cristiano's on a timer. He's on a timer. He's going to end the game soon. He rotates over. He's looking for another way in. There he goes off. I believe there are 3. Currently 2. Okay, so there's 1 left. And the Nova does connect. Decent connection here on the Zealots. Archons, they're moving in. He's trying to bleed his way forward. And another disruptor has arrived. Oh, yeah, a bit of an overextension. Nova goes off. Takes out an Archon. Nice pickup. Yeah, disruptors over time just getting more value. Cristiano has to break through. Another disruptor has arrived. Another Nova goes up. But Cristiano, he resets the Archon count. Okay, he's getting on top of the disruptors. Oh, I spoke too soon. Oh, God. Spoke too soon. The Novas, they connect once again. They shut down more Zealots. Nice splits. Nice splits out of Cristiano. Ooh, oh my, clutch micro. Zealots go down. Barely saves the Archons, but there's so many Novas. The Novas keep connecting. Warping is denied. And again, a very messy fight towards the end. Gerald, he defends. Gerald, he holds. He shuts us down. Again, Cristiano, he was all in. He had to end the game here and now. And he fails to break the expansion. Now, he does trade back and forth, and he was able to reset most of the disruptors. Now there's only 1 left. But that had to end the game. That had to kill. Cristiano is still stuck with a subpar army. And Gerald is still just building on more disruptors. More disruptors, more Novas. Disruptors they can still whiff, they can, but they didn't. And they were connecting well enough. But you're correct in saying that here with the next wave, if disruptors don't connect, then Cristiano can pull this off. There's 2 Novas left. Ooh. Yeah, brutal connection. Cleans out most of the Zealots. Cristiano does get into the mineral line. Oh, but the Archons are going down, the Stalkers are going down, and Gerald, he will dominate this fight. Yeah, gets on top of the Archons. More disruptors have arrived, more Zealots go down. GG gets called, and Gerald, he will outscale his opponent. He will take the game, the first game. Game 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. As we mentioned, again, Cristiano, he was on a timer. He was on a timer. He had to end the game soon before he would be outscaled. Alas, he was all in, and he was unable to break out. It was very close, very clutch. Gerald, he was able to make use of his defender's advantage with shield batteries, with extra warp ins, with the disruptor reinforcements, of course, as well, eventually. Gerald, he survived the all-in, and with that, he snowballed out of control. And now we're getting into game number 2. Game 2, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss for Streamer Zone. Leading the series 1-0, it is Gerald. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss, land of Poland, representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. Here we go. We are going to be setting up here. Welcome to 10,000 feet, one of the smaller maps of the map pool, known for aggression. And this is going to favor Cristiano's style, referring to, I mean, Cristiano is very fond of rushing into charge, rushing into a mass zealot composition and trying to end the game early. So the last game, we've seen that in series past. And that's going to be more effective here. We'll see if he gets there. For now, 2-gate opener out of Cristiano, 2-gate opener out of Gerald as well. You have mirrored openers, mirrored builds. And once again, 2 games in a row, Cristiano, he will hide his pylon. He will hide the pylon on the right-hand side. There's going to be a fake proxy pylon. He's hoping to force Geralt into a Nova reaction. That's the hope, at least. Hello. Okay, he's moving in. Just like last game, Geralt does open up a double stalker to have an army to work with, and Geralt, he will still expand. Nice pylon block. He delays Cristiano. As Cristiano, he opened up Sentry Expand. Yeah, now getting into a delayed second Stalker. Or first Stalker. There's a Nexus. Geralt, he did choose to go for the Stargate before Expand. So Geralt, he's going to be the aggressor. We'll see what he can get done. Oh. Hello, Cristiano. Cristiano is going for a Twilight Council opener, is going for a proxy pylon. This looks like potentially a Dark Shrine. Do we go into DTs? Do we commit? Twilight Council is done. Link is on the way. Show us what you got. Show us that Dark Shrine. Geralt was moving out. And we can see the Geralt. He is... No! Shody scouting! Geralt is being active on across the map. He's checking. He will find the pylon. He will find the probe. And he will shut this down. Yeah, he will shut this down. Yeah, he will find both, actually. Oh my god. Crazy. Yeah, shuts out both pylons. If we did intend to go for a Dark Shrine or to commit into a proxy gateway for an all-in, then it's shut down. As both pylons are found. He already threatens Shade. Let's keep Cristiano busy. Ooh, he commits! Yeah, that was a bit of a misstep. He will lose the adepts. And he doesn't get a single probe. The Oracle does find some damage though. It's 4 kills. Not bad. The Oracle does help make up for it. And the stasis goes off. And Geralt, he's doubling down, by the way. Two more gateways. 2 more gates, so 4-gate blink in total. Cristiano's expanding, and Geralt is going for a delayed expansion. Blink is almost done. Geralt, he goes for the forward base. Oh, bold move. Does go for the forward third. It is more exposed, but it also allows him to reinforce that much faster if he were to push. Okay, ways of finishing up. And again, the pressure is going to be on Gerald here just because his base is so much later. Cristiano, he's checking for the third. He checks the triangular third base first. And now he's going through the center. Scout is denied. He fails to check for the third. Well. Setting out more hallucinations. Throwing down shield batteries. I don't blame him. Cristiano gets dragged out of position. Gerald headed for the natural. Does find a pylon. And he's going to try to escape. It bleeds out, what, 3 stalkers. Does get away. Cristiano getting a 4th base. Ooh. And really nice damage so far by Gerald. He will lose the Oracle, but he does make up for it here. He does take a worker lead. I should say he maintains a worker lead. Despite Cristiano getting the faster third base, and despite having more bird production, we saw that Gerald was able to deal enough damage, able to recover. He didn't commit with Mass Stalker, he was able to harass and find damage anyway, regardless. So he found the damage, now we're building up into the mid game. Interesting to see that Gerald, he's not going to charge. So no charge, no commitment to Zealots or Archons. He's going Stalker Immortal instead. And he may just go Stalker Immortal into Disruptor. Cristiano is going for a much more standard composition. Once again, going from Stalker into Zealot into Archon. Gerald, he's getting there as well, but a little bit later. Meanwhile, the tumors are expiring. The map is opening up. The map is open. Cristiano, he's on 10, Jesus, he's on 10 gateways. You can see no gas. No gas at the natural, no gas at the third, and no gas at the 4th base. He's going massive Zealot for reinforcements. He's committing. We spoke earlier how Cristiano is quite fond of this, and this works even better here on a map like 2,000 atmospheres, or sorry, 10,000 feet. Gets the Immortal. And we need those Zealot warp-ins. We need those reinforcements. And there we go. He can warp in 10 Zealots at a time. And he's trying to end it here and now. He's getting on top of the Immortal. Once again, the Immortal should be going down. Okay, the Immortal falls. Zelta was stuck behind the army. A bit of an awkward engage here by Cristiano. And here comes the other warp in. Yeah, he should have enough. He should barely have enough here. More Zealots have arrived. Once again, getting on top of the Stalkers. They tank well. And Cristiano, he breaks through. He breaks through. He overwhelms. He snowballs out of control. There's nothing left. We got some shield batteries. We got some Stalkers. GG gets called. And Cristiano, he ties up the series 1-1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We saw that Cristiano, he didn't quite attempt this in game 1, but he did something similar. Again, he's very fond of this style, just going for a very low gas count, warping in mass Zealots. He had 10 gateways behind it, and Gerald was unable to keep up. Remember, Gerald, he chose to delay his charge. He chose to avoid the Templar Archives, so he had no Archons either. Ideally, you do need Archons there to help tank and to help deal damage to those Zealots, as without them, charge, I'll say, just overwhelmed. They shut down Stalkers so hard. GG. GG, well played. With that, we're getting into game 3. We're going to be loading into Title Citadel. One of the larger maps of the map pool. I'll say that style is a little bit weaker here, but we'll see what our players go for. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Title Citadel, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the other Polish Protoss. Representing Offside Esports, it is Cristiano. Here we go. And we'll try to keep an eye on the gas count of Cristiano this time. to be able to see ahead of time whether or not he commits into mass charge again. Again, Zealous trade more efficiently than Stalkers, and they can close that distance to do a great job tanking. That's typically why in a traditional army composition you do need Archons, and we did bring up last game that Gerald did choose to skip that, right? He chose to delay charge, and he chose to skip or delay the Temple Archives for any kind of Archon production. He was stuck with a more Stalker heavy composition. So now getting into the ace match. Tydo Citadel is a much larger map. The map will much larger. Relatively defendable in 4 bases. And Cristiano, once again, he does hide the pylon. Every game so far, he has gone for a hidden pylon. There are goal bases in the corners of the map. True. Or, sorry, in the corner of the map. Oh, and this time he sticks around. Okay, so every game he's going for the proxy pylon. Game 1 and Game 2, they were fake. At Game 3, it looks real. Looks like a Stargate. Cybercore's finishing up. Stargate's on the way. So proxy Stargates out of Cristiano. Gerald, he scouts. Gerald, he knows that a pylon is missing. Geralt is aware. The problem is that every game so far in the series, it's been a fake out. And Gertie's scatting. Wow, he's checking the left-hand corner, and he will find this. He will find the proxy. As both probes head in the same direction. No! Okay. He did re-rally for a moment there. But there we go, he confirms. Yeah, he does confirm. Oracle's on the way. Cristiano forced to make Zealots here. There we go, does cancel. He's trying to fake out. He's trying to make it look like he was making, I mean, just units. So because they move in, they maintain that pylon. Ay, ay, ay. Cristiano, he just wanted to expand. And going for the Artosis pylon, no shot. The pylon's going to go down. And he will deny the Stalker. Yeah, the Stalker's going to be denied. One more volley. Pylon goes down. Depowers everything. The Oracle taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage. And Gerald has a very comfortable start to the game. I mean, we still haven't dealt with the pylon. Cristiano is still stuck in his main, and he has no warp gate. Warp gate is still depowered. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, brutal start here. He goes to the Robo follow-up, and he may just turn this into a one-base all-in. He's banking up resources. He wants to expand. Oh, he starts the Immortal. He just made a choice here. He chooses to delay. Okay, just delay. So he delays the expansion. Immortal's on the way, but he will still expand. He does find the Stargate. Will depower. I mean, he already found it. Able to shut it down. And the pressure is very much so on Cristiano here, as he's just now finished up his expansion. Gerald has been up for quite some time. Now, what does Cristiano have to his advantage? The Robo. Remember, it was a faster Robo. It was Stargate into Robo into early Immortal production. He even delayed his expansion in favor of the Immortal as well. So Cristiano, he's committing. He's pushing. He's moving out with the early immortal count. And we'll see if Gerald can survive this. Gerald is getting his own robo. He has 3 gateways himself. He has a decent gateway count. And over time, he'll... Oh, God, he's taking a third. He's getting a third base. Gerald, he needs those warp-ins. He needs an army. Loose Nation confirms the robo. And here comes Cristiano. He's moving in. Does have a terrifying army to work with. There's a cancellation, but again, it's a late cancel. The fact that you go to third base to begin with was less than ideal. Shield battery just now begins. It's a late shield battery. Nice force fields. They blinks in. Yeah, he goes to dive. The boys are being pulled. Does not get the immortal. Nice control there by Cristiano. He does kite back. The prism is exposed. Nice snipe. Prism goes down. But Cristiano, he's still overwhelming. He's still breaking through. Yeah, takes down the mineral line. And again, Gerald, it took him too long to realize those were 2 base all in. Just a little bit too long. As Gerald, he will lose everything here. He finally gets his own immortal. Let's push in. Yeah, the DPS was kind of split. Stays gets baited. 1 immortal goes down. He gets 1. Oof. Cristiano, he pulls away. From here, he just has to pull away. He has a better economy. He has more probes. But Gerald will survive. He's still in this. Survives, he zones Cristiano away. Oh, catching another stalker. Just trading 1-to-1. They do trade. And we have kind of an equivalent composition here. There's no forge, no upgrades. There's no third base for either player either. Nice Oracle Harass. Deny some mining. And Gerald's big advantage is he has Blink. Toss Blink into the main. Oh, he just started Glaive for a moment there, but going for charge. He's taking up still on 2 bases. Both players getting into charge. And we'll see who's going to be the first to expand. Gerald, he has map control. He's containing Cristiano. Now would be a time to try to expand. Cristiano, he will choose to get 2 more gates instead. Sorry, 3 more gateways. He's committing on 2 bases. He is choosing not to expand, but not to try to expand. He powers one of the gates. Gerald, he commits. Does have the nice concave. Yeah, better concave for Gerald. But he's up against 3 immortals. Now he's up against 2. Still very close, still very clutch. But Gerald is being forced out. Yeah, it's being forced out. Cristiano, he holds, he defends. He defends on 2 bases. The gateways are finishing up. Gerald just now throwing down his own gateways. So Cristiano, he has the higher gate count. He's getting to charge, so is his opponent. The Oracle is thrown away. Gets 6 more probes. Now, honestly, if Cristiano wanted to, he could just expand, but now he's going to commit. Just going to commit. Distracted by the Immortals. There's the recall. There's the recall back home. Cristiano, he does get supply blocked. Cristiano, he has a larger army. And depending on the angle of attack, he should have the better fight here. Yeah, there's no shield batteries. There's one shield battery a little bit further back. Just the one. Oh, Gerald moves out. Cristiano's moving in. They miss each other. And this does benefit Cristiano. Yeah, he hits the natural. Moves in, hits the natural base. Gerald, he has to commit to the base trade. And Cristiano, he should take this. He should come out on top. He's already in the natural, already pushing into the main. Recall's on cooldown for Gerald. Remember, he just recalled the War Prison back home. So he cannot recall back home. Cristiano, he can. And it looks like he will. He checks for the third. There's no expansion. Are we just walking back? Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, he's just walking back home. I mean, he does cripple his opponents. But Cristiano not making this easy on himself. He has no energy to recall. Okay. He had no energy. Now he does. He could have just gone for the elimination, to be honest, but but sure. As it's going to be a little bit awkward pushing up the ramp. Prism goes down. Oh, barely not. Prism survives. Zell's taking on some of the Immortals, and Cristiano, he can and he should take this fight. Yeah, takes down the main army. GG gets called, and Cristiano, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the upper bracket finals. GG. GG, well played. A bit of a chaotic back and forth between Gerald and Cristiano. Cristiano being a little more cheeky throughout the series, being a little more committed at times. Gerald, this time, he was the one that did decide to go for the 2-base all-in. Unfortunately for Gerald, Cristiano, he was investing into more production, into more tech. He was kind of building up into a bit of a later like counterattack timing, and he got away with it. In the end, he got away with it. He got away with investing into all those gateways. Gerald, he had to end the game. Likewise, Cristiano had a lot of really nice harassment damage with the Oracle. The Oracle gained so much value over the course of the game, killing probes, crippling the economy. We also had the moment where Gerald had a big misread. That was the moment when Cristiano gained momentum in the series, was when Gerald was expanding and when it took him a long time to realize an all-in was coming his way. If you remember, Gerald, he only canceled the base when Cristiano was already in his face, when he was already knocking down the natural. He lost the middle line. He did fall behind for that moment. He didn't die. He was able to survive that, but was in a rough position. GG. GG, well played. As we follow our players here into the next series. It is going to be a best of 3 between Cristiano and Gerald. Sorry, between Cristiano and SKillous. As a reminder, SKillous did defeat SpeCial earlier. SKillous did defeat SpeCial, and now it's going to be... Oh. SKillous versus Cristiano in a PvP. After the series, we'll be covering SpeCial versus Gerald, as I believe they should be facing off in the lower brackets. But here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player, the Polish Protoss, representing Offside Esports. It is a Cristiano. The PvPs continue, Pappy. Let's go. Let's go. Again, we'll see how SKillous will adjust his approach here. As welcome to 10,000 feet, the Russia's background is a lot shorter on this map, so you can be more aggressive, you can be more assertive. And we're expecting aggression out of Cristiano from SKillous. Again, we don't really get to cover SKillous as much or as often. He's not as active of a player compared to Gerald, compared to Cristiano. So we'll see what he brings to the table. For now, 2-gate. 2-gate opener from both sides. From here, we'll wait to see if we open up double Stalker, double Adept, Stalker Sentry, or Sentry Expand. Oh, hello. As SKillous, is he gonna hide his second pylon? Okay, cheeky moves. Yeah, looks like he will hide his second pylon at his own third base location. Gonna be very difficult to scout. Cheeky moves out of SKillous. Meanwhile, Cristiano, he does check his own third location. Looks like he's also... Oh, never mind. He is scouting. I mean, he knows. He sees the pylon is missing. Cristiano's own pylon was thrown down in his main. So he's looking for the proxy. Yeah, because of the giant tumors, there are a lot of really nasty proxy locations here. And it does make it more awkward for the probe scout to actually traverse the map. True. Okay. You'll eventually scout. Eventually. But this is already doing damage. We do have 2 probes out scouting on the map for Cristiano. Third pylon in the main. And from here, SKillous can just expand. Yeah, SKillous expands and Cristiano is still stuck on one base. Building up extra stalkers. There's a Nexus. And Cristiano, he finally does find it. Yeah, he does find it. He goes for the Stargate. So Stargate opener into expansion. SKillous, he will have the better economy. Has a faster base. It's the faster natural. Again, the pressure is going to be on Cristiano to get some equivalent damage. It's a pop off with the Oracle. Yeah, SKillous, he does try to dive on the army. Having a bit of an awkward trade here. Yeah, sentries, they do hold their own. And SKillous does take the fight. Oh, good. And clutch control. Again, sentries, they no longer tickle. Not in PvP. They do bonus damage to shield-based units. So SKillous, he does hold, does defend, setting up for his third base. And getting into blink. Here comes the Oracle. Again, there's a lot of pressure on Cristiano. Kills the pylon. Oracle towards the natural. SKillous, he did scout. He should be aware. Despite that, not in position. He loses 2 probes. 2 probes go down. Nice moves out of Cristiano. Distracting with the pylon. Getting in. In chat, why no Zerg players on the new patch? Only rogues are still playing. That is not true. If you've been watching StarCraft recently, you'll know that like Sola's been playing, Lambert was playing last night, alongside Rogue, alongside Shin. But if you're curious about the low amount of Zerg players, then you might not have been watching StarCraft over the past couple of years. But like Zerg participation has been low for like the past 5 years. The patch hasn't changed that. It's just been getting lower over time. Is unfortunate, is very unfortunate. But having low Zerg participation is like the norm. After the patch is downtime low, that is not true. It is very common in online tournaments to have like 1 or 2 Zerg players in a bracket. Like it's possible that you're only just now like taking notice of it, but it has been the case for a long time, unfortunately. But it is standard to have like 1 or 2 Zerg players and that's it. We bring it up all the time when we're casting. That's why for a long time, if you recall, whenever we cast an online tournament, I'm like, we usually jump on Zerg players early on while we can to feature some Zerg play, like in the round of 32 or round of 16. We bring this up all the time. But it's possible that you're just only now like paying attention to that. Not saying that it's a good thing, not at all, but it's unfortunately has been the case for a long time. As the double depth does get into the main, 4 probes going down. While SKillous is distracted, diving on the Immortal, not bad. Yeah, SKillous' supply is split. Takes down the Immortal. Cristiano, can he break through the third base? Now we have the army coming in. Against SKillous, he was torn apart. And Cristiano is going to keep pushing. Shield battery out of energy. Able's pushing into a concave. And SKillous defends. I couldn't find any PVZ or TVZ after the patch on YouTube, but Loco mentioned it too. Loco doesn't really cast a lot of StarCraft. If you watch our channel on YouTube, then you'll know that we have casted PVZ and TVZ. But it's true, because Loco doesn't really cast much, like he has like a skewed perspective. So it depends who you watch. I think we brought this up before, but people like Loco or Winter, they're very selective with what they cast. So if you only watch them, then your perspective can be skewed. I mean, we were casting Lambo last night. And we were casting Rogue last night as well. What do you mean? Literally casting it like 10 hours ago. Ay, ay, ay. And Shin like yesterday. So it depends what kind of content you consume. As SKillous, he's going to be able to push in. He does have defensive Immortal. The base is getting quite low, but with the help of the Immortal, he should be able to hold on here. Yeah, the Immortal has arrived, and Cristiano's running out of steam. He's running out of steam. He's being forced back. Oh, gets the Immortal. GG gets called. Cristiano, he just runs out of steam. He was all in, he was committed, and SKillous will take game number 1. GG. GG well played, does take a lead in the series. Again, Cristiano, he just had a really rough start to the game. He did fall behind early on when it came to the initial build, when it came to the initial opener. So he was committed, he was all in. SKillous, I will say that Cristiano had a really nice start to the all in, pushing into the third base. SKillous, he was out of position, defending his natural, defending his third. His main army was kind of split, but despite that, didn't quite break through. GG. GG well played, SKillous defends, and now we're getting into game number 2. Here we go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the blue Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Team Liquid, leading the series 1-0. It is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. We go. The only game lately I saw Lambo win was 3v3, giving Oz income to Harsum. I mean, again, as I mentioned, this is not to, I should emphasize this as well, this is not to like talk badly on other content creators, but depending on what content you consume, and to be fair, like they've admitted this themselves, a lot of content creators out there are very selective with what they cast and what they cover. So if you only watch them, then you are not really getting the full picture of things, and you have like, you can have like a skewed perspective, just because they don't cast everything. They don't, yeah, they're very selective. I think an example of that actually previously was True. Loco, he mentioned how there's a lot of PvP. This was like maybe a year ago. There's a lot of like PvP and PvTs going on, but he wouldn't cast them. So like if you only watched him, you wouldn't recognize like how few Zerg players were actually competing and playing, because he would specifically like seek out like Zerg matchups to cast. So if you only watched him, like you wouldn't be aware of what was happening, or you wouldn't be aware of like the game state. Just be careful. Be careful. With like how you like formulate opinions and like how you arrive to conclusions. As like you're often being like fed like specific like information. For now, 2-gate opener out of SKillous. So we do have a greedier start out of Cristiano going Sentry Expand. Okay, so Cristiano, he's going to cut some corners here. Is going to be a little bit greedier. Here we go. But yeah, last night, I say last night, like a couple of hours ago, we were casting Lambo, we were casting Rogue, casting other Zerg players. Not saying that there's a lot of Zerg representation right now. There isn't. It's very low, but it has been low for a long time. To say that you haven't seen any TVZ or PVZ this patch means that you haven't been watching StarCraft back. We've been covering it. Here we go. Here we go. As we do have a much faster Forge, actually. Okay, so really fast Forge out of SKillous, rushing into faster +1. Interesting. You don't often see this. With this is going to be a big power spike with +1 and a bigger power spike with +2 as well. So SKillous does have those timings. It's quite greedy here to invest this quickly into a Forge. We'll see if we can get away with it. So here we are going to be moving out. Both players expanding in their third bases. +1 is almost done here for SKillous. So again, he's going to have that advantage, that power spike. So we're getting our third bases. Cristiano is poking in. Cristiano does have the slightly larger army. +1 isn't done yet. Let's poke in. As he pokes in, SKillous, he gets across the map to it up, taking one-shot probes. Where they both do. Okay, let's go. Probes are going to be going down. Ooh, and SKillous is achieving a lot more damage here. Denies any kind of mining at the natural. It denies more mining. Oh, that was a bit of an awkward recall. That felt like almost a mistake. Yeah, recalls in the middle of the fight. He'll lose all those stalkers. At the same time, it FSA get into the main. 10 probes going down, and Cristiano, he's falling apart. He's falling apart here. Not like this. Not like this. Ooh, 13 probe kills. 13 probes. He fails to attack. He fails to push into the third. And SKillous can just chase. He can just chase from here. He has the army advantage. Up 20 supply. And just everything went south there for Cristiano. They're just panicking a little bit as well with the recall. Yeah, SKillous, you should be able to overwhelm. Pushing into a CranKy, we have more reinforcements on the way, coming in from behind. They're a little bit delayed, but they're coming. And SKillous takes the fight anyway. Oh, as looks like there was a bit of a pause. The Uber Eats arrived, Fabi. Oh, true, true. He got his food. I'm celoso, I'm celoso. And again, SKillous, he should not be stopped here. As long as his control is solid. He's just out trading. And GG. GG gets called. The writing is on the wall. And SKillous, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Nothing too fancy here to SKillous. I mean, I say that he had a more unique build here, rushing into the faster forge, getting into +1. Early on, you can try to abuse that just because it does mean that they forego the earlier gateway, they forego like earlier production. But in the end, Cristiano, he was unable to punish. He did attempt with Adepts, so he had some Adept harass, but at the same time, so did SKillous. And Cristiano, he had a worse reaction. He pulled the boys away, he had no reinforcements, he lost a lot of workers. It was over 10 probes going down to the Adept harass, and his economy was crippled. Likewise, so was the army. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to SKillous, does advance on to the upper bracket. And now we're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have the lower bracket finals and we'll have the grand finals thereafter. We'll catch up. We'll see you guys soon after said break. See you soon. See you soon. welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Do apologize for the long break, but we've returned. We've returned here with the lower bracket finals of the patches TLMC21 Bash number 2. Again, this tournament is designed to feature the new maps, specifically the new maps in the map pool, and we are going to be jumping into another one of these newer maps. Going to be jumping into Taito Citadel. Here we go. Again, it's really unfortunate that the other online tournaments did not decide to actually incorporate the newer maps, despite them being around for 3 weeks. So that is unfortunate. That is a bit of a disappointment. From my understanding, this week finally, I believe, Pixar Cup and Monday Night Weeklies are going to be incorporating the new maps, but it is a little bit too late because voting ends at the end of the week. Like, voting is just about to wrap up. Like, so it is a bit of a shame with that, just because I do think it's really important to showcase the new maps as quickly and as soon as possible, as much as possible, just to give people a good idea as to what maps they enjoy, what maps they don't, coming into the voting period of the TLMC. So it is a bit of a shame, but I also appreciate that Patches did decide to host his own tournament to showcase and to feature these new maps. And here we go, spawning in the top left hand corner of Taito Citadel, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Streamer Zone. It is Gerald. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss player himself representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. As a reminder, this is going to be a best of 1. I was not fully aware of this, but apparently the lower bracket is purely best of 1s. No best of 3 lower bracket finals or anything like that. So it all comes down to one singular game between these two to find out who will advance on to face off against SKillous in the next round. Let's go. Let us go. So now we are going to be opening up. 2-gate opener from Cristiano, 2-gate opener from Gerald. We have seen Cristiano embrace and make use of proxy pylons time and time again. This time he does send the probe across the map. He does not hide on any corner of the map this time. Looks like we don't really have a setup for a proxy pylon or a fake proxy pylon specifically. Not this time. Coming into this series, they do lean towards Cristiano, but they do trade back and forth, like Gerald and Cristiano. Cristiano did just beat Gerald in the previous best of 3, but went all the way to the ace match, and we can very easily see this going the other way as well. Typically, Cristiano is more aggressive. He's typically the more aggressive of the two. Typically more in your face. We'll see if that trend continues. So now we do have our opener, double adept opener out of Cristiano. Meanwhile, Gerald going Sentry Expand. A bit of a greedier build here by Gerald. There we go. Because of he only goes for a single unit, he does afford a faster expansion, so greedier build out of Gerald. Very greedy. Does pylon blocker across the map as well. Because the double adept opener, it takes a lot longer to deal with the pylon. And Cristiano committing into a 3rd and 4th adept as well. Okay. It's doubling down. Building up more adepts. As Cristiano shades across the map, we have another set of adepts on the way, so building up to 6. Committing quite hard. And we'll see what he can get done. Gerald, he's in position. Once you build enough adepts up, then a pylon or a shield barrier won't be enough to really stop the tide and stop the mass shade of adept. But we'll see how hard Cristiano commits. Focus in. Gerald doesn't engage ahead of time. Very nice force fields. He gets 1. Yeah, 1 adept goes down. Down to 3. And we end up trading here. Once again, nice control. Gerald, he pulls away the sentry. Does save it. Does preserve it. We'll lose 1. And should lose the other as well, but these are rough trades for Cristiano. Ay. Gets a sentry, but he will lose all 4 adepts, or at least he should. Yeah, 1 more shot. Oof, does go down. And Gerald, he holds. He holds well, and we're still making more adepts, by the way. We got 2, we got another 2, we got another 2 on the way. Oh, sorry, 4 in total. And Cristiano, he gets in. Ooh, that should not have happened. That should not have happened. He does get in. Gerald, he was late to wall up, late to react. Tilted up second one-shot probes, and so far it's going to be 3, 4 probes going down. Can we get 5? He's going for it. Oh, yeah, 5, 6 probe kills. More adepts they get into the natural, and Gerald is being pulled apart. Ay, ay, ay. Initially, Gerald had a good start. Initially. But not anymore. Not like this. Does 9 mining at the natural. There's no defensive units, but there we go. There's the warp in. In the end, 8 probes go down for Gerald, and Cristiano, he will lose 1. He'll lose 1 probe. With that, Cristiano takes a massive lead. Look at the worker count here. Cristiano is up by 10 probes. Oh, Adept gets in. That should not have happened. Okay, gets another probe kill. And another 2 probes go down. Late reactions here by Cristiano. He was out of position. 3 probes. This should not have happened. That's something. Oh, hello. Cristiano. Now, Cristiano is still in a better position, but he will lose the position in the main. Will save the adepts. Does pull away. And Gerald is holding. Gerald is holding, and thanks to his own harass, he's still in this. He's still behind, but still holding on. More adepts on the way. Again, as long as you have a pair of adepts on the map, we can always recover economically. But as time goes on, Cristiano's army is getting bigger and bigger. It's going to be more difficult to get economic damage. Not impossible, but difficult. Unfortunately, because of the dynamic of PvP, I don't think this really showcases the map too much. As Gerald, he's going for the linear third. Okay. I don't think I'd ever expected a player to take this expansion, but let's go. So let's go for the linear third base. Instead of the triangular third, I mean. Expanding towards his opponent. Gerald who lose both adepts. Stalkers able to get into the main. They do depower the gates. Okay. Depowers the gateways, and Cristiano is building up his immortal count. A third immortal's on the way. Charge +1. He's just building up into the mid game. Gerald instead, if you notice, he did actually start Glaives for a moment, but he does cancel. Cancels Glaives. Adepts stay shaded once again. Oof. They get another 3 probes. 4? Okay, 3. Another 3 probes go down. Let's get a better start here for Cristiano. And what does God have to work with? Jesus, he has a massive Stalker army. Getting it to 17 Stalkers. In a head-on fight, I do favor Cristiano because of the Immortals, but Cristiano, he has a less mobile army. And Gerald, he can just go straight for the main. Yeah, he can just blink straight into the main base. He sees the army. What's the plan? Where are we going? Where are we headed? As Cristiano, he has no idea where Gerald is. Cristiano, he moves out. As he moves out, Gerald, he moves in. Oh! Okay, he's moving in. Actually, coming in from behind. Okay, there we go. Does hit the natural. And there's no energy for a recall. Not at the natural, at least. Yeah, not on the main either, so there's no recall. We're going for the base trade. We commit to the base trade, and Gerald, he does hit first. Gets into the mineral line. Probe's going to be going down. And again, this is the best chance for Gerald to win this game, is the base trade. He could never fight this head-on. Cristiano now pushing into the natural. There's the recall. Oh, he recalls back home. Shield batteries are not yet done. There's only 1 shield battery. The Immortals are moving in. It's a massive warping of Zealots. Gerald, can he hold on? Again, I'm not in love with the recall here just because there are so many Immortals. Warpings are continuing. Cristiano, he still has mining. He still has an economy. Gerald is trying to make a stand. Blinks in. Gets 1. Ooh, barely does not. The Immortal survives. Extra DPS. And Cristiano, he's done it. Yeah, Cristiano, he has done it. As we mentioned, Gerald, he could never fight this head-on. He chose to recall. He chose not to give him into the base trade. As we mentioned, that was probably the best chance for Gerald. Not saying he would have won, but that was like the highest chance of winning. as the natural has been broken. And Cristiano, he can just force his way into the main. He can force his way in. Oof. Yeah, Sentry goes down. There's one Immortal to defend. GG gets called, and Cristiano, he will take the game. He will take the series 1-0. GG. Whew, GG, well played. He will claim it. Again, Gerald, he just had a really shaky start. He fell behind economically. He lost so many probes. That's why eventually he was all in. He was committed with Mass Blink Stalker. He did have a more mobile composition, and I did like the idea of him waiting for the move out and then moving in and then hitting the natural. Remember, he was the first to initiate the base trade, but he did decide to recall. He decided to recall back home, and as we saw, he wasn't quite able to. He didn't have the army to actually defend, so it was a rough decision there. And again, not saying that if he didn't recall, he would have won, not at all. But I feel like that probably would have been his best chance, his best opportunity. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're now getting into the grand finals. It's going to be a best of 7, I believe. Jesus. Oh my god. Hold on. Yeah, it's going to be a best of 7 between Cristiano and SKillous. And I believe SKillous will start with a 1-0 lead. I just need un momento. Yeah. Okay, best of 7 grand finals. SKillous, he will start with a 1-0 advantage as he comes in from the upper bracket. All the PvP's back. Let's go. And game 1 is going to be on Tourmaline. And again, it is unfortunate that it is purely PvP here, just because the PvP matchup isn't really impacted too heavily by maps, just because of the warp-in mechanics. So despite the size of a map, like warp-ins do kind of nullify that. So you can still be like aggressive on larger maps or be in the face of your opponent. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into our grand finals here, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss himself representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. Here we go. As I mentioned, I've spoken about this before, but I do think the best way to be able to perceive changes and perceive maps is probably to host specific show matches. I think that's probably the best way of doing things, or hosting like a round robin like show match bracket as well, to be able to see more like ZVTs or ZVPs on certain maps, or PVT, less so PVTs, because we do see a lot of that as well, just to be able to showcase certain changes and see how things have adjusted, especially on these newer maps. Someone has to take the initiative there. True. I mean, we are coming up on the end of the year. We're coming up on the Duckling Showdown. We have to come up with a theme. I think last year we had some SC Evo show matches. We had some Tuna Cup related show matches. Well, we'll have to think about it. We'll think on it. For now, ooh, going for a Proxy Robo. Okay, Proxy Robo 1 base all in at a SKillous. He's going to commit. My apologies, did miss that. So he will commit across the map. Tourmaline does have a shorter rush distance by ground. It's very direct as well, as you can see here. There's like no high ground. There's no points of elevation. There's no tall grass or anything to slow down or to stop a push. It's very direct. Here comes SKillous. Now Cristiano, he reads this well. So Cristiano, he scattered. Yeah, he scattered the robo. He knows what's going on. Defensive robo out of Cristiano. Good reaction, good response. He will lose one pylon on the low ground, which is gonna hurt him. SKillous, he finds the probe. Yeah, ensuring there's no backstab. There's no gateways across the map. And so far, Cristiano, he does have the tools to defend. As you mentioned, it would have been disastrous if Cristiano expanded first or even went for a Stargate instead. But building up on 3 gates, building up his robo, he's going to have the equivalent production as his opponents, but he'll have the defender's advantage. The downside, of course, is the progress on the production. Oh, Cristiano, he finds a Stalker. Not bad. But SKillous, he's up 1 Immortal. Takes down the pylon. Now he cannot push up this ramp. Not yet. Not without the Warp Prism. Prism is on the way. Cristiano, he comes in from behind. He's going for the robo. Does look to depower. Robo taking a little hits. At the same time, SKillous does have to move in. Nice save. Nice save with the Prism. Oh, looks like Cristiano, he fails to shut down the robo. It stays powered. And SKillous, he wants those Stalkers. Oh. There's the recall. He does recall in time. Does pull out. Calm down. He was supplied though, yeah. So Cristiano, he killed the probe so he can make the Immortal. For the greater good, Pappy. Oh no. Feels probe, man. Cristiano trying to engage. Once again, he just has to hold on to the high ground. Just has to defend the ramp. But again, SKillous is just building up his Immortal counts, getting up to critical mass. 4th Immortal's on the way. Getting up to 5. Against SKillous, he cannot quite break in. He's trying though. Devastating Shade into the mineral line, and they get a couple of pro kills, not bad. Yeah, SKillous splitting the attention of Cristiano. And SKillous, he should at least get the gateway. Cristiano being knocked down to 1 gate. He hasn't rebuilt. That's a bit of an oversight here from Cristiano. Like again, these gateways will eventually go down. He should be rebuilding just to make sure he has warp-ins. Right now, more shield batteries. Once again, SKillous is having a really hard time pushing up the ramp. He gets the gateway. Cristiano down to 1 gate. Ooh, as 1 Immortal goes out, miscontrol out of SKillous. Yeah, big miscontrol. Bleeds out an Immortal. Cristiano, he's holding, he's shutting this down. And Cristiano, he defends. He does defend. Oh, SKillous, now he throws down a Stargate. This is a late reaction, late response. Oof. Bleeding out of the Stalker. Cristiano, he breaks out. And Cristiano can counterattack. Oh yeah, he catches the Immortals one after the other. Nice juggling. Oh, let's be careful. And it does come into the fight. Catches the army. The immortals are so low for SKillous, and he will lose everything. GG gets called, and Cristiano ties up the series 1-1. Whew, GG. GG well played again. So crucial that Cristiano, he scouted the proxy early on. Remember, what did Cristiano do? He went for his own robo. He went for his own early robo production. He had the tools to defend. Everything was lined up. As we mentioned, it would have been disastrous if he had tried to expand, if he failed to scout, if he had gone for a Stargate instead. But Cristiano, he was able to scout, able to react, able to respond. GG. GG well played. With that, we're tied up 1-1. And now we're getting into our next game. Here we go. Loading into Talisman. We don't often see a lot of Talisman nowadays. It's going to be the first time we experience this map in a best of 7, of course. So now we're able to lock in, and we'll get into it. We'll get into it. I'm sure you've seen plenty of maps, plenty of games on Talisman. This was around in the previous TLMC as well. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Talisman, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Polish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss for Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. And a welcome one and all to Talisman. Again, Talisman was around in TLMC number 20 as well. So it's been around for another season, and we've already seen a lot of games on this map. This map does feature a high ground natural, so a defendable natural base, and also features the hybrid third base as well. There's a mineral ramp, so you can go down with your workers. You can take this expansion early on, and you can expand towards your opponent with another hybrid base. We often would see all-ins in other matchups with Terran players and Protoss players expanding towards your opponent, taking this base as the natural, and then this base is the third, and then all-inning from this ramp, just all-inning across the map. Very, very short rushes, and so we saw a lot of aggression, a lot of all-ins on a Talisman, and now it's back. Now it's back for another season. Has returned for another season. Cybercore at SKillous. Cristiano doing everything he can here to block. Remember, SKillous did go for the high ground, also go for the natural expansion here, so did go for a greedier build. And Cristiano likewise doing the same, actually. So Cristiano, he will disrupt. He could try to throw down some shield batteries here. We'll see if he goes for it. Yeah, you can see the probe is in position to block. Doesn't commit. And we have, oh, there we go. Okay, shield battery is indeed on the way. So 2 shield batteries for Cristiano. Zeld has arrived, and from here we're rallying across the map, rallying the Adept, rallying the Oracle as well. But this does feel very delayed for Cristiano, I will say. Does feel delayed. SKillous, the good reaction here, or the reaction to go for is to go for your own defensive shield batteries. Stalker's out, the first shield battery is going to be denied. Nice one. SKillous, he fully walls off. Very nice. Yeah, he walls off the natural. With that, he can buy time. Shield batteries are finishing. And again, this is a big investment, but I don't really feel like we're getting too much done with this yet. Yeah, Cristiano down to 2 shield batteries. Down to 2. And SKillous holds. As SKillous holds, SKillous defends. He's up to 3 Stalkers. He's perfectly fine here. And this was just such a big commitment here for Cristiano. What was it, like 4 shield batteries? And once again, SKillous, he fully walls off. Just a really calm reaction out of SKillous. It walls off, he walls off. Cristiano is going for his own natural. He will avoid the standard natural location. Going for the hybrid base instead. Bold move. Once again, SKillous, he shuts us down. And this is a rough position for Cristiano. No, he doesn't scout. Oh, Cristiano doesn't see. There's a proxy inside the base. Inside the natural. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, we do have two oracles. Two oracles, they can one-shot probes. There's a lot of pressure on Cristiano. He goes in. Gets 1, 2, 3, 4 probe kills. Not bad. Oh. Does pull away. But he doesn't know, Pat. He doesn't know. The call is coming from inside the house, Pat. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, warping in more stalkers. He's building up. And Cristiano doesn't really have an army is the problem as well. He's got 2 adepts, he's got 2 oracles, he has no standing army. So a recall won't save him. A Warbin won't save him. As he's so tech heavy here, just now getting gateways, Twilight Council, Blink. Yeah, GG gets called, the army is revealed, and SKillous takes a 2-1 lead. Whew, GG. GG well played. Cheeky moves there out of SKillous, but it wasn't just that, of course. Cristiano was behind because of the commitment into the shield batteries, right? The commitment into the shield battery rush, it just was not worth it. Really cool reaction out of SKillous to be able to wall off. He just fully walled off the ramp, so we saw that Cristiano, he never got into the mineral line, he never pushed up into the natural either. He was stuck at the ramp and never really got to take advantage of all those shield batteries. It also hit a little bit late. It was delayed because of SKillous' movements. GG. GG, and with that, we're now getting into our next game. We're loading into Tythos Citadel. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. Here we go. As we're selling in, 2 gate openers all around. SKillous, we're going for another proxy, setting up for another, what looks to be 1 base all in. This looks like a prime location for a proxy robo. Technically, this could be a Stargate, but a Stargate would be closer to the edge of the map, typically. So we're leaning towards a robo, leaning towards a 1 base all in. Now, to be fair, the last time we saw this at a SKillous, it didn't work. It did not work, it did not succeed. We saw that Cristiano was able to shut it down, and Cristiano was able to get his own defensive robo up and running. We'll see if that's the case this time. We'll see if Cristiano can scout and confirm. As he sees, Heinlein is missing. So Cristiano, he knows that there's a proxy, he knows that something is wrong, and blindly, yep, he goes for a defensive robo. So once again, a solid reaction out of Cristiano. It is a risk. For example, if SKillous is going for a fake pylon, a fake proxy, or a Stargate, I would favor SKillous' position instead, but because he's committing into a proxy robo, I do favor Cristiano with his own defensive robo. Even though Cristiano didn't scout, even though he doesn't... God damn it, Cristiano. But even though Cristiano didn't scout, even though he doesn't see what's going on, he doesn't know exactly what the proxy is, he's reacting and respecting it quite a bit. He gambas, baby. He gambas, and he gambles well. Now, I'm not saying that this is like a confirmed win for Cristiano, but once again, things are leaning in his favor. As he does have the tools to defend. Meanwhile, I believe SKillous, he scouted, he's aware, he's going for the War Prison first, as he's aware of the robo. Okay, Prism is out, dropping into the main. Model production has begun. Now SKillous, he does try to poke in, but the Immortal has arrived. Defensive shield battery and SKillous warping is denied. So again, a really strong start for Cristiano because of his reaction, because of his defensive robo. So far so good. Like so far the build is working in favor of Cristiano. Prism across the map with 2 adepts, they can one-shot probe, shield battery does not matter. Ooh, does misalign his shots. Army's moving in. We'll take down the gateway. Adepts almost get surrounded. We get another warping of Adepts, and SKillous is being shut down. Yeah, no economy. Now, the scary thing, of course, is that Cristiano, he has less warpings back at home, but he does force field. He has to hold on to that ramp. He needs on the force field. Now to 2 Immortals. Okay. He'll lose both gateways. He does not have a backup gateway. Uh-oh. Yeah, no more warpings for Cristiano. Cristiano, he's in danger. He may have to recall. Nah, GG. GG gets called. He defends well enough. He cripbles the economy. And Cristiano, he ties things up 2-2. GG. Whew. GG, well played. I was a little bit concerned that Cristiano, without warpins, he wouldn't be able to hold onto the ramp. But no, he was able to hold well enough. He had 2 Immortals on the high ground as well. GG. GG, well played. Both times that SKillous has gone for a 1-base proxy all-in, both times Cristiano shut it down because he was able to respond with his own defensive robo. Even without scouting, he had no confirmation, he just gambled, he rolled the dice, he rolled well. GG. GG. With that, we're now getting into our next game. Now, this is where, maybe not this game, but I wouldn't be opposed to later on in the series, SKillous going for a proxy pylon and not going for a robo. To go for a fake out instead and to force a reaction out of Cristiano. Like, that's what I would want to see here, based on how Cristiano is reacting, based on how he's responding. But here we go. Here we go. We're getting into game number 5, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss representing Team Liquid. It is SKillous. Being forced into a tied series, and spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. We go. Cristiano. As again, the proxy robos and the 1-base all-ins have not been working out for SKillous. So we gotta calm down. See, this is where SKillous is like, well, he wouldn't expect me to proxy robo again, right? So he just like just keeps going. I mean, true, at this point, this is when mind games come into play. Like, I would say that it would be really good for SKillous to mix in a fake proxy pylon. But at the same time, if he goes for a real one, maybe Cristiano, if he scouts, if he sees a pylon missing, he'll be like, oh, at this point, there's no way you proxy robo me like 3 games in the series, right? Like, at this point, this has to be a fake out. Then he expands instead, or then he goes for a Stargate. And then SKillous has a better opportunity, has a better position. It's possible. The mind games. For now, we're chilling back at home. No proxy to speak of. So 2 gate opener. SKillous does hide his pylon further back in the main. Okay, a little bit cheeky. You can see that Cristiano is looking for it. He's looking for the pylon. And we'll see if he scouts further into the main base. So far, he does not. Back at home, does he throw down a robo? Does he take the bait? Ooh, he doesn't. Okay. Throws down the pylon on the low ground. Pylon is thrown down. Yeah, Cristiano, he's like, you don't have the balls to proxy me 3 games in a series. No shot. He's expanding. Again, so Cristiano, he fails to scout the pylon. He doesn't know what's going on. He's looking, though, with the hallucination. True, he's looking for the proxy. But he will expand. And the hallucination confirms that SKillous is also expanding, so he knows that, okay, it was a fake out. There's no real proxy. The mind game's not working out in favor of SKillous. Not this time. Oh, but SKillous does go for a Robo Opener. Okay. Now, with a Robo Opener, this does mean that SKillous has access to early Immortal production. He goes to the Forge follow-up as well. This is very tech-heavy, very greedy in a sense. Not greedy economically, but greedy in the sense that he's taking up quite heavily, investing so much into upgrades, into tech, less so into his Gateway army. So greedy moves here by SKillous. He is going to be vulnerable early on as a result, and Cristiano is going into Blink. Likewise, he has a Spotter Pylon, which he can use to reinforce. There we go, warping in 2 Stalks at a time. He is pushing. And we'll see if he can break the natural. Or at least catch the sentries. Shannon moving in, nice forces out of SKillous. Zones away the army, buying time. He does buy some time here. The Nexus takes a couple of hits, but he's just tanking shots. Get very careful micro here out of SKillous. He kites back. Boys are being pulled. And with the Immortal arriving, SKillous holds. As SKillous he does hold, he defends. He bleeds out 3 workers, so it does even up the worker count. Don't give Cristiano a slight edge. But Cristiano, he backs up, keeps warping in. Blink is on the way, and you can see that Cristiano is trying to keep up that momentum. Where he trades, gets a couple of probes, picks up some sentries. The aggression continues. And SKillous, he should be the defender for the near future. Remember, he got the faster tech, the faster robo, the forge, the +1. He should be just building up back at home. And then he can break out with +1. So here comes the gateway explosion. SKillous finds the first pylon. Oh, Cristiano supply blocked. Uh-oh. That is brutal. Brutal supply block for Cristiano. Back at home, he's throwing down a wall of shield batteries. Here comes SKillous, he's pushing. A good read out of Cristiano, but just because he knows what's coming his way doesn't mean he can stop it. SKillous was trying to commit. Nice force fields. SKillous being slowed down. Nice forcing his way in. Yeah, SKillous is pushing forward. The boys are being pulled. +1 is now done. Oh, does dive in the Prism. Not bad. Prism goes down, denies the warp in. And Cristiano shuts down the Immortal as well. Yeah, Cristiano, he will hold. Whew. Yeah, it does hold, does defend. Cleans up the Stalkers. And now it's time to counterattack. And SKillous, he bled out so much here. The Immortal, the War Prism, he's down to only Adepts. He cannot fight head on. And Cristiano, he just walk in. He can just walk in. There's going to be 1 Immortal to defend. Maybe a warp in. Cristiano, now is his time. Adepts don't find a way in. Yeah, the mineral wall is closed. Boys are being pulled. Cristiano, he does depower everything. Depowers the production, but the Immortal does arrive in time. And Cristiano, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep pushing. Don't stop. Adepts take it in. Uh-oh. Adepts take it into the natural. Shading into the main. There's the recall back home. Ooh, does decide to recall. Adepts they get 9 probe kills across the map. And economically, Cristiano is falling behind. And it cancels the shade, kills even more probes. 11 probes going down. It's 11 workers. SKillous, he's recovering. Initially, Cristiano, he had to lead after the defense, but now SKillous, he's up in workers. He's building up his army. He's rebuilt the Immortal, rebuilt the War Prism. Cristiano does at least have a third. True. Does have a third base. But the pressure's still on. Say thread in the shade. Two thread in the shade. Getting up to 4 more probe kills. More adepts, they hit the third. This time Cristiano's ready. Yeah, bit of miscontrol. Focus on the workers. But SKillous, he breaks out. He breaks out. He still has the upgraded advantage as well. Cristiano, he never got +1. SKillous, he brings everything together. Remember, SKillous, he chose not to expand. It's still 2 base all in. Still just a big 2 base all in here from SKillous. Always has been. It continues. Map did open up. Headed towards the linear third. Heads towards the third expansion. Zealots, they do a great job tanking, but we're running out of Zealots, and the Immortals are moving in. And they're getting on top of the Stalkers. Immortals, they go ham. And SKillous, he has enough. Yeah, he has enough. He is breaking through. The Immortals just do so much of the back line. The boys are being pulled. Cristiano getting desperate. And then Cristiano, he had an impressive defense initially. Blinks in, takes down the Prism, gets one of the Immortals. Oof. But only one. And nice target firing out of SKillous. Takes down the mineral line, cleans up all the Zealots. The Immortal gets away, making use of the tall grass. Ooh, does go for the recall actually. Okay. Does recall back home. But SKillous, he keeps the Immortal alive. Okay, time for wave 3. time for round 3, papi. The 2 base all-in continues. It doesn't stop. He just keeps going. Do you have a decent shield battery count at both bases? There's 3 shield batteries at the natural, 3 shield batteries at the third. Cristiano, though, he's out of position. He's at the third base. And SKillous is moving in. He's moving in, he takes out the pylon. Depowers all the shield batteries. Uh-oh. SimCity working against the Zealots. Going for the warp in the mineral line as well. Cristiano goes to the dive, and he does not deny the warp in. Adepts, they do complete. Boys are being pulled into Adepts. Oh my god. The Immortal barely goes down. Nice snipe with the War Prism. But Cristiano just doesn't have enough. Yeah, he does not have enough here. The Gateway Army does overwhelm. Cristiano, he held for so long. But in the end, it was just too much. Too much. SKillous shading into the natural. Shading into the third. He's already crippled the economy, even doing more damage. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Cristiano, he has nothing left, and SKillous takes a 3-2 lead. GG. Ooh, GG, well played. Again, Cristiano, he had a really impressive initial defense at the natural. Very impressive. I'm referring to the moment where he killed the War Prism, where he killed the Immortal as well when he counterattacked. But if you remember, in that counterattack, he missed the army. We saw that SKillous, he actually warped in, what was it, like 6 to 8 Adepts. They were getting across the map. The armies, they missed each other. Cristiano, he failed to push into the natural as there was a defensive Immortal. And the Adepts, they got across the map. They got across the map, they crippled the economy, and SKillous, he clawed his way back into that game. GG. GG, well played. And now we're getting into our next game here. Going to be loading into Mothership. Let's go. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Mothership, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself representing Team Liquid, leading the series 3-2. It is SKillous. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, bottom side of Mothership, we have the red Protoss, the Polish Protoss, representing Offside Esports. It is Cristiano. Here we go. And welcome to Mothership. Mothership is a 3-player spawn map, much larger compared to Last Fantasy, so a larger map here, a little bit more open. The bases are a little bit more exposed as well. As you can see, there are greater arcs, greater angles of attack at the fringe expansions. But once again, I don't know if that applies to, if that's too applicable to PvP, to mirror matchups. As first things first, we're looking for each other. Probes are sent out, they do find each other, and now they know. SKillous and Cristiano, they're fully aware. Both players going for 2 gate openers. And there's no probe on the map, there's no setup for a proxy. There is no setup. From here, we're building up. Again, we have our 2 gate openers all around. It is going to be a Stargate initially here for Cristiano, opening up with a Stargate, and SKillous across the map is going for his own expand. So we have a more economic opener at the SKillous. We have something more aggressive at a Cristiano. Bearing in mind that Cristiano, he will delay his own natural in favor of the Stargate. So Stargate's on the way. Hallucination Scout from Cristiano will confirm. He scouts the lack of base and he scouts the tech. So SKillous, he knows. He's aware of what's going on. And SKillous, as a result, he should be setting up shield batteries. We have a shield battery at the natural, and we should be soon seeing one in the main base as well. Should be. Some more adepts are moving in. As Cristiano moves out with the first Oracle, we're opting to skip the shield battery in the main base, but we do have 2 souls in position. Meanwhile, Cristiano commits into a second Oracle. First one moves in. SKillous is keeping up. So far, so good. Yeah, SKillous, he defends. And he's setting up a proxy across the map. So there's still a lot of pressure on Cristiano. Remember, winding it back, Cristiano, he is behind economically. He has been just because of the later expansion. So there's a lot of pressure on Cristiano. 2 oracles, they can one-shot probes that are getting caught out. Ooh, we're losing 1. One of them goes down. Oracles, they get 1 probe kill. Now they get 2. 2 probes do fall, but last is going to cost Cristiano another adept. Commits to the shade. And he has to get the hell out of here. Oracles, they go back in. They head towards the main. SKillous is ready, somewhat. Despite that, very nice flyby. 5 probes go down. Nice damage, and Cristiano takes a lead. Cristiano from here, he does take a lead. SKillous, meanwhile, is going for his own proxy. Remember, he's committing across the map. No tech, no robo, no Twilight Council, no Stargate, no nothing. It's an all-in. So straight up 2-base all-in out of skills with vanilla stalkers. And he has a massive army. He has a massive army. Unfortunately, Cristiano was investing into oracles, into adepts, into harassing units. Does have a shield battery. Voids are being pulled. Very nice force field. Locks away the voids. Yeah, the probes, they cannot engage. Nice force fields. It locks down the stalkers. Gets 1, 2, gets all 3. And there's nothing left. There's just nothing here. The oracles are harassing across the map. That's nice and all, but it does not matter. Because the main army here is terrifying for SKillous. As he breaks in, GG gets called, and SKillous, he overwhelms the army. He will take the series 4-2, becoming the Patches TLMC21 Bash number 2 champion. GG. GG, well played. Again, Cristiano, he was pressured to do economic damage. Unfortunately, he didn't really piece together what he was seeing. What I mean by that, Cristiano, he got into the main base multiple times. He should have taken note of the fact that there was no Robo, no Twilight Council, no Stargate, no extra gateways, no third. Something was wrong. Something was missing from the bases. We knew that it was a proxy gateway across the map, but Cristiano wasn't fully aware. So he was still committing into warping in more adepts, into committing into harassment. He was not ready back at home. GG. GG, well played. Skills, he pulled off the all-in, he got across the map, pulled off the proxy, and congratulations here to SKillous as he does claim the series. Again, my condolences to Cristiano, but he did well making it this far, making it all the way to the finals. To do so, he was able to bring down SpeCial. He was, no, sorry, I think he skipped him. Yeah, he didn't face SpeCial. He was able to bring down Gerald multiple times, took down Art as well. Cristiano, he was able to rely on his PvP. SKillous, he had a more diverse way into the finals. He took down Mixu, took down SpeCial before making it to the upper bracket finals and grand finals thereafter. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to SKillous for claiming the tournament. I do apologize. Oh, sorry, I say apologize. I will say the one downside here is that because of so many mirror matchups, the maps themselves, I don't really feel like we really showcased too much. We did see quite a bit of 10,000 feet, and we got to see how aggressive you can be on that map. True. We were able to showcase that even in a mirror matchup. But as you mentioned before, like PvP doesn't really take into consideration too much of maps just because of the warping mechanic, just because of how aggressive you can be despite the size. But GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations to SKillous. Really great to see him being active again. Again, as we mentioned at the start of the broadcast, SKillous has been less active over time, specifically post EWC. He's been playing in less tournaments. He took a break, but recently he came back. Recently he did come back, and he has been focusing and fixating on improving and playing again. I think he brought Clem to the A Smash not too long ago either, so he's been looking very strong and very powerful in PvT. I will say that SKillous' weakest matchup, as always, has been PvZ. Like, PvZ has been his weakest matchup, has been the matchup he has to work on the most. But here, I mean, he did drop a map to Mixu. True. That also kind of, like, emphasizes that point. But he was able to kind of rely on his other matchups here to make it through, to become a champion. Congratulations. And again, of course, he is working on his PvZ as well. I know that Clem was actually helping him with PvZ. I remember Clem, because Clem was laddering as Protoss, he himself was actually working on some builds, and he actually gave some builds to SKillous, which did actually help out against Solar, at the start of the year. So it was really cool to see SKillous like kind of learning from that, taking from that. But with that, GG. With that, GG well played. With that, that's going to be us wrapping up our broadcast for the morning. A bit of a shorter broadcast. Once again, I do apologize for going late, for going live a little bit late. Unfortunately, I did not get a lot of sleep in the morning, so just because What TV Monday ended so late. But with that, that does wrap up our daily cast here for Tuesday. Tomorrow we're going to be live in less than 24 hours with the Pegasus Cup. So Pegasus Cup is going to be tomorrow. We have the Pong cast on Thursday. We have What TV Monday on Friday, MSO, STC, and we have the SE2 Safe House. SE2 Safe House is going to be over the weekend. That is going to be, of course, the big event happening in the Americas. Everyone's going to be, I say everyone, all the NA casters are flying over to Vegas. I think Roddy's going to Vegas as well, to host and to bring together the event. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be very intense. A lot of NA StarCraft over the weekend and over the course of the next couple of months with SE for All and with the Stellar Fest tournament as well. The event happening in Canada. So again, there's going to be a tournament in Canada. There's going to be a tournament in Philadelphia. We have 2 events back to back in the Americas, and we have the SU Safe House as well. Like October, November is NA StarCraft. It's all about that NA StarCraft. So if you happen to be local, if you happen to be in the area, do consider going to one of the events, whether it's in Canada, whether it's in the Americas. Otherwise, GG. Otherwise, GG. Well played. Feels like a lot of Taito to 10,000 feet and Tourmaline. Yeah, that's what we got a lot of. That's what we got a lot of here. But shout out to Patches for hosting the event. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I mentioned it before, but I'm very disappointed that the other online tournaments didn't showcase the TLMC21 maps where I feel like they should have. They're only doing so this week, but it's so late. It's so late. So yeah, I'm disappointed when it comes to Pegasus Cup, KSL, Monday Night Weeklies. They got there eventually, but they got there very late in regards to showcasing the maps, as voting ends this weekend. Or I should also emphasize that if you saw some maps you enjoyed, make sure to vote. Make sure to get your votes in. Voting is open and voting ends on the 19th of October, so end of the week. You have very little time to vote. Here you go. Would a couple of void rays have saved in there? That would have helped. I don't know if it would have been enough, but it definitely would have helped there. Unfortunately, as we mentioned, like, it's one of those things where Cristiano just didn't know what was coming. He didn't realize how much danger he was in until it was too late. He didn't kind of piece together like the all-in that was coming his way. Top 2 maps, true. Top 2 maps are going to be guaranteed. And get your votes in. I won't tell you what to vote for, but what I will say is that I do think that it is important to have a nice balance of maps as well. What I mean by that is something that I did notice is the submissions for rush maps and for more aggressive maps were very low. I don't know if that's normal, but we had a really low amount of submissions for that, and only, I want to say, like 2 or 3 rush maps made it into the top 16. So I do think it's important to balance things out, because honestly, there are a lot of large maps. There are lots of really large maps in the TLMC, like top 16 for 21. A lot of large maps. Like, I'm looking at the map pool here. I'm looking at Satellite Years. I'm looking at White Rabbit, Old Republic, Missing You Today. Looking at Celestial Enclave, Winter's Madness. Looking at Magnetic North. And Magnetic North is more in the middle of the road, I should say. Mothership, true. Mothership's a 3+1 map, but also very large as well. Mothership is large. Taito, Throne of Dunes. So there was a lot of like large maps, which I don't know if it's I don't know if I would say it's a bad thing, but I do think it's important that when you do vote, that you do have a nice spread of like what your favorite like standard or macro maps, and also your favorite like rush maps as well. I would emphasize that just to make sure that you're when you do decide to vote, that you have like a nice balance of things, so it isn't like too top heavy, or it isn't too like large heavy when it comes to like the size of the maps and what makes it through like TLMC. I think they should look beyond top 16 a little. Yeah, I mean the scores are really close. I don't know if it's fair for the map pool to look beyond the top 16. You could argue that maybe voting should be like top 20, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I feel like there aren't a lot of really weird maps in top 16. I agree. I do think there were other like weirder maps that maybe should have made it through. Like God, what am I thinking of? Think of like Dream and Scars, or like the map which is like quote unquote 4-player spawn, but like has 2 different like it's only ever like diagonal spawn, and it has like different like a different like kind of layout depending on how you spawn as well. Like maps like that like were really cool. Unfortunate that they didn't make it through. Yeah, Dream and Scars. Yeah. Dream and Scars, or the other 4-player sport map which had the monorail system. Like, that was okay. Yeah, that was really cool to see. What happened cool? I think my personal favorites, I haven't looked too much into it. Like, what am I thinking of? I'm thinking of like Magnetic North. I really like Mothership, of course. I feel like Mothership's a sure thing. Like, Mothership's gonna make it through 100%. I'm thinking of like Magnetic North. I'm thinking of I would say Risen Memory is crazy. I still feel like Risen Memory is a crazy map that could make it through. I still have not really casted many games at all in Celestial Enclave, unfortunately. 10,000 feet. I really want 10,000 feet to make it through as well. What else? Satellite Years. I wouldn't be opposed to. But yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. There's definitely some maps here that I hope don't. I mean, I think I mentioned this before. I do feel like White Rabbit's gonna get a lot of votes just because of its aesthetic. Like, I feel like the Matrix aesthetic and the name of the map as well, I feel like is gonna go a long way. I can definitely see a lot of people looking at it and going for it based off of aesthetics for sure. Even though I don't think it's a good map. But we'll see. We shall see. Not a fan of White Rabbit. I mean, I think did I give it a 1? I think I might have given White Rabbit a 2, but like, it's not. I said this before. I still can't believe White Rabbit made it through into the top 16. Like, I can't believe it. It's actually crazy. Like, I should have been harsher on it, Pappy. I should have given it a 0.5. I should have. No. But yeah. TLMC. I'm curious. Hold on. Yeah, I gave it a 2. I gave it a 2 just to be nice. I remember. God. Can't believe it. But yeah, regardless with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, don't forget to vote. I did just post the voting link in the chat. I'll do it again. Here. Both in YouTube and in Twitch chat. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And again, voting ends at the end of the week, so make sure you get your votes in while you can. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. For Pegasus Cup. See you next time. Until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for support, and we'll see you guys next time. Ciao, baby, ciao. See you next time.